WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Now, here's your host, J.W. Simmons, as we consider closely what we should know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. I want to thank you for being with us today. We're coming to you from on site at the Halls Fire Department right here in Sampson County. And with me is the Fire Chief, Brian Royal. Brian, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, JW.
There's a lot going on here today. You got a lot of the community people here. You got a helicopter pad over there. You've come to fruition something that started that we talked about in studio, and now it's here.
It's a reality.
And it's a reality. Tell us a little bit more about, after you went through this, some of the challenges you had and some of the things that you see is going to be beneficial to the community.
Okay. Well, we had this open spot right here, and we've always landed a helicopter here when a time of need. It's not always a motor vehicle accident or something. It could be someone having a stroke, heart attack. They need to get to a level 1 trauma center. So they would call, say, Halls Fire Department, come and set up your LZ. So we had to come out here. We put up some combs to block off the area, and then at nighttime we'll have to put some lights up, shine some lights towards it. So they come and they landed. Then it was probably a year or so ago, Miss Tanya Blackman called me. She said, Brian, my son's wanting to do an Eagle Scout project. Is there anything that y'all need, a flagpole, maybe an AED or anything? I said, yes, I know a great thing for an Eagle Scout project. I said, it's been done in this county before over at Spivey's Corner. I said, we could use a permanent helipad. Mm-hmm. She said, a helipad? She said, no way. She said, there's no way we can do that. I said, come and talk to me. So we talked about it, and I said, look, we already got a landing zone. I said, helipad, well, we got a landing zone. But to make it ideal, to have cement and lights. So then it's accessible 24/7. So all we got to do is come out here, flip a switch, and we got lights, and we got a good surface, so if it's rained, it's not hard. And then we got a walkway that EMS can pull up, park on the hardtop, push their stretcher into the helicopter. Mm-hmm. So it really, it done well. She said, well, what's all this gonna cost us? She said, it's gonna cost a bunch of money. I said, no. I said, it's not really got to be anything special. We just need a cement pad with lights. And she said, okay. So then they went out and they done some fundraising. We done sponsorships. We asked the community, and this community has always supported Halls Fire Department. They will step up. If whatever there's need, they'll step up. So I'm very thankful. All the sponsors on this side over here, I think there's a little over 60 sponsors paid for every bit of this. Nothing, no cost to the fire department whatsoever.
That's churches, businesses, individuals, families?
Yes, that is correct. Churches, business, individuals, they just basically ask, well, what do you need? What do you need? And then we had people to donate their time. We had Lamar Brewer, he came out and he helped do some of the wiring on the lights. We had Edwards, electrician, he came in and wired the lights into the actual helipad. Mm-hmm. The Boy Scouts, they come in and they laid sod around the helipad, put the rocks out, planted the shrubbery. So we had people that couldn't give a donation, they gave their time. And that's one thing I've always said about Halls Fire Department, that no matter how young you are or old you are, if you want to serve your community, I can find a spot for you. If we have an accident, people might not want to see a trauma patient, but somebody might be able to direct traffic. If we have a fire in the middle of the summertime, they can come here, get some water out of the refrigerator and take it to us. So, there's always something somebody can do if they want to volunteer time. So, I'm very thankful for this community.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. I want to call your assistant fire chief in now,
yes.
Buddy Gilmore.
Yes.
And Buddy, if you'll come on into the shot here, I want to get you right here, and Brian will be on the other side of you. And I want to kind of highlight your thoughts, because you've been kind of the bedrock of a lot of things in this community for years. And I ain't gonna get into age stuff here with us, but you've really been a significant contributor and volunteering time over and over. And unfortunately, Brian, a lot of people don't see what we see that Buddy does in the background.
He does.
I want to get your thoughts on what this particular Heli-Pad means to the community, why you vested into it and worked hard to help make sure this was done as well.
Well, I tell you, JW, sometimes this Heli-Pad can mean the difference between life and death. The quicker we get a response to a patient, the better off we are, the better off they are. So this has been one of the greatest things that we've accomplished.
One of the things that strikes me, buddy, with volunteer firemen, and the chairman alluded to it a while ago, what you guys do is contributing one of the most valuable things you got, and that's your time. And you contribute to the community. You've been involved in this long enough and worked with a lot of these people. What do you say to folks out there that's saying, wow, why do they do that? Why do they put that time in? I recall years back, Brian, when I was working with the college and worked with fire departments, I was always so humbled when I'd walk in and these guys would be doing training. They'd be going to fire calls at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Where does that come from?
We want to help our community. That is the main thing. You got to have the heart for the community. We love our community. And anything we can do for our community or other communities, Clinton, Newton Grove, all of them, we want to help them. We're not just here at Halls all the time. We go to Clinton, Newton Grove, Spivey Corner, wherever we're needed, that's where we're going. I've just been fortunate enough to work for myself and can take off when I want to.
And I think that's a key asset, Brian.
Yes, I wanted to key in on that. I mean, if I work a public job, I work during the day, and a lot of people works during the day. So if we didn't have people like Mr. Gilmore that would step up and help answer calls, we'd have to hire somebody out here during the day. But we're very fortunate. We're one of the only fire departments left in the community we're strictly all volunteer. We don't have to hire anybody. I mean, I know the day's coming, but we're very fortunate to have people like Mr. Gilmore, Assistant Chief Gilmore, to step up and answer these calls for us during the day. And one more thing is, he is very smart on agricultural equipment. He has a shop, he does welding and stuff. So if we have an accident and there's someone entrapped in a car or something, I mean, I might come up and say, well, all right, guys, what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop this door right here. He might say, hey, look, back up. You might want to do this right here. So, and I mean, I'm just going by the textbook, like I know what I need to do, but he says a little bit smarter on, he knows how this vehicle's made. So that's why I'm saying it always takes all kinds of people that can come and help us. And another thing he said, we're here for the community. We are. I mean, I care less if we never went to another fire, but if somebody in the community needs a smoke detector, they come by and say, hey, I need a smoke detector. We'll get you a smoke detector. If you need somebody to come hang it up in your house, we'll come hang it up in your house. I mean, if somebody needs a wheelchair ramp, I mean, we'll find resources, we'll get you a wheelchair ramp. We're here to serve the community.
Buddy, I want to say way back to you is that, and I've known you for a long time, and this is something that he cued in on, is that a lot of times you do stuff that is not necessarily where you come to the fire department and get a truck. You get called at home and you show up and you help people. And listen, I'm going to put this on you to think about and to speak to. A lot of that you never see anything about. You're like, something just happened and helped me, and I get asked sometimes, who was that guy?
Yes.
We don't do it for a pat on the back. We don't do it for a pat on the back. We do it for the love of our community.
And that's a bold statement.
Yes.
Are we missing a lot of that now, guys, in the sense of the community?
We are.
We're missing that in the next generation. They'll step up.
It's a point that I couldn't dwell on long enough to talk about the volunteerism and the reason and the feeling. It's got to be special, and it's got to be God sent to say, look, I'm willing to put my time and step up. It's sometimes the worst time in the world to call you, and you get that call.
Yes.
We're talking about the generations coming up. Brian has implemented a junior fire program, and we have had tremendous support for that. We've got some young guys that's going to take over. They're dedicated.
That's good news, Brian, to hear.
Yes, but we still need
more.
We need the older generation to lead them in the right direction. So you cannot do it with the younger ones. You can't do it with the older group.
Yeah.
You got to have the older ones to lead the younger ones where you want them to go. And that's what you're hoping that when you're gone or you retire from the fire department, that you're leaving the fire department in better shape than it is today.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's your main goal.
Absolutely.
But I do want to brag one more time on Mr. Gilmore. I had a small windsock on top of this fire station, and when Duke Lifeline come in to help us out with this Heli-Pad, they said, well, we got a windsock for you, we'll mail it to you. Well, they mailed us a windsock. They said, you just got to get you a pole for it. So I called Mr. Gilmore, I said, hey, or Chief Gilmore, I said, can you put this windsock on top of a fire department somehow? He went above and beyond. I mean, he built a pole that will be there longer than I'll be here. I mean, it will not go nowhere.
The hurricane ain't
So
gonna blow
no,
it.
it's not. So I mean, the windsock, we'll have to replace it, but the pole's always gonna be here. I mean, and that's just the kind of person he is. I mean, he's always here to help.
So, buddy, you've been able to transcend that quality you do at your shop to the quality at the fire department.
I sure hope it is.
I think it is. I think it is. I just want to thank
You know I'm not going to brag on myself.
No, but I will. I think the big thing here is just back to that whole idea of working for the community. And as you so well pointed out, buddy, the community really matters here. And it's in your heart to do that. Brian, same to you. Thank you for what
Yes, sir.
you're doing. Appreciate you being here. I'm humbled to be part of it, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a great chief.
We do.
We have
We got a great
chief.
assistant chief.
Yes.
Tell us about how you came up with this idea of a helicopter pad at Hall's Fire Department and Rescue. Was that something that just struck you? Did you see it somewhere else, or how did this project come to fruition?
Well, I was looking for potential Eagle Scout projects that I could do in the area, and I thought of a couple, but none of them really I was 100% I want to do that one on. And the whole idea behind the Eagle Scout project is responsibility, managing stuff, and overall helping your community as much as you can with your project. And we asked if there was anything that needed to be done at the fire station, and he said they had been thinking about putting a helicopter pad in, but they never really had the funding or anybody to do it. So that one stuck out to me as I could help the community the most by doing that project.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
Just because something may work doesn't mean it's right for your business. Let Star Communications' knowledgeable consultants help you customize a hosted voice system that's right for you. Our dedicated experts work with you to understand your business needs and guide you at every step, from choosing and installing services to ongoing maintenance and support. Contact Star today.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
You forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
You can tell we got a lot of people in the community supporting this. I like to thank Mr. Brian Royal for helping me from the beginning. It wouldn't have been possible without him. I want to thank the fire department for letting me do it here, and always helping us if we needed some work done and adding on to it. I want to thank my friends and family. They helped us build it and fund it. And I want to help all I want to thank all the sponsors and donors for being so generous and helping the project get done. And I'm just glad that the landing zone is here and it can help the community out.
Also, we have our emergency management director, Rick Sire. He's back here in the back. He's talking to our 911 supervisor, Cliff Brown. We have a couple of our county commissioners, Ms. Sue Lee, she's here. Mr. Gerald Kivett. And Mr. Gerald Kivett, he's also our fire commissioner. One of the county commissioners serves as fire commissioner. So he's actually one of our fire commissioners as well. So, Mr. Kivett, would you like to say anything?
Yeah. First thing I want to do is commend this young man for the vision that he has. The need for something like this. It's just something that'll last a lifetime, several lifetimes, and how important it is. I was reading just the other day that in 1965 a study was done, and they found out that it was safer to be in a war zone than it was on the streets in America, because so many people died. More people died on the streets in America in a year than it did in the Korean War. So something like this, the problems that we run into with the fire departments having to go out to all the accidents and wrecks, this thing becomes even more and more valuable. But anyway, I want to say thank you to all the firefighters, all the first responders, and what they do, and they do it for nothing, zero, and that is commendable, and that takes a lot of passion and a lot of heart, and we cannot thank them enough. And for this young man, I want to shake his hand. On behalf of the county commissioners, we appreciate what you've done. Thank you. Thank you. We're on site here at the Halls Fire Department, and as you can see in the background, we've got the Duke Life Flight helicopter. We're talking today with Josh Gill and Matt Rollins. Josh, I want to start with you. You guys are on a tight schedule. Always everything's by split moment. I want to thank you for being here and helping us celebrate having this pad here to be able to transport patients. Tell us what you feel about having these in the community and how important they are.
Honestly, we are just so excited to be here to celebrate this pad and to thank Will Blackman and his family for organizing this. Having pads in communities like this where level 1 trauma centers are, 45 minutes, hour and a half away by ground, having pads like this allows us to bring that type of ICU care, the trauma level care, bring it to the community, and then get these patients who are incredibly sick, unstable, experiencing the worst day of their life, bring these patients to definitive care. And having pads like this allows us to land safely. It allows us to, work closely with our community firefighters and closely with the Sampson County EMS and the EMS community here in Sampson County. And it's honestly just a privilege to be here and to have an asset like this in the community.
Matt, I'm going to turn to you. Is just kind of a picture from where you are and the whole process of this. Do you see more of these things happening where folks are going to locate places where you can land quickly and move people to a higher level of care?
Absolutely. That's one of our biggest things is safety. Organized, pre-established landing zone like this is best for us, best for the patient, best for the EMS crew. If they page us out for a call and they say meet at Halls Fire Department, we know it's a safe landing zone. We can head directly to this point instead of waiting on the fire department or crew to establish in a field or on a farm somewhere. We know we've got a place to land safely. That saves them time getting us the patient, getting us to a safe landing zone, and then getting that patient the definitive care they need. So that's my biggest takeaway from establishing these in the community is our safety. Even if it's not a nice concrete helipad, if we have a pre-designated, pre-established place to land that's safe, that's best for everybody around.
Josh, I'm going to swing back to you for a minute also. As we look at this, what do you see, and you've been doing this for some time, obviously not long because you're a young man, but you've been doing this for some time. What do you see as the biggest challenge going forward, having more of these out? Is it funding or just a desire like this fire department to raise the funds to have it? How is that playing out? And is the hospitals going to be able to continue to afford these kinds of things? That's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Funding, obviously, is everything, right? Concrete's not free. Having the space. I think what's important about this particular one, right? We had an Eagle Scout who had a vision, right? And decided that this was going to be his project. And he worked towards it. I don't know all the details of how the funding came about, but he managed to secure the funding. And then he partnered with the community, right? A willing fire department that said, hey, we see your vision, we share your vision, let's move this thing forward. So, I mean, I don't know about like a systemic approach, because there's a whole lot of things at play, and we're all just like small moving pieces in it. But when someone has a vision, I think they can, it's just incredible to see them bring it forward and move that into reality.
Matt, back to you on this whole idea of what's going on here and what's happening now. If you had to impress upon folks watching and listening to the show that maybe have future Eagle Scouts out there, what would you say to them?
Kind of echoing what Josh said, if you have a vision for something, you can find a way to achieve it. And this is very community focused. Just driving by, people may not realize how important this is, but it could affect anybody in this community any day. They may need access to us, our medical care and medical facilities that we transport people to. So it's finding a need in the community and finding a way to address that, whether it's something as large as this physically or financially or something small, but if it addresses a need, find that and find a way to do it.
I want to grab both of you's comment on this, and we'll kind of wrap this up because I know you got something coming up. And in fact, as you landed, you discovered that in 5 to 7 minutes you got to get out of here. So we're rushing this. I want folks to understand that you're willing to stay here all afternoon, but you can't do it. So tell us quickly, if you can, the makeup on the inside of this thing. Like, what kind of people that you have to have before you lift off? How many is there? How hard is it to get to training to even be able to even handle this? And I'm not so much talking about flying the helicopter, I'm talking about the operational mechanisms on the inside.
Okay. Yep. I'll start. So I'm a paramedic. I previously worked 911 EMS, much like Sampson County EMS. I worked over in Harnett County, so I'm familiar with the work they do. Josh is a nurse, so those are the two options for our medical crew. I'll mention our pilot. They're employed by Metro Aviation, so they're separate, so we'll leave them out of our equation. But, several years of experience, either 911, EMS, nursing care in the ICU at a hospital. So we're a two-person medical crew. It's a good complement, nursing care, that ICU level. I've got the field experience working 911, so that kind of crew as far as patient care. We have everything you would see in an ED or an ICU, minus some of the special equipment, but we carry cardiac monitor, ventilator, IV pumps. We've got all the equipment to do everything we need to do in the field and stabilize and get somebody to definitive care. Biggest thing is kind of a space limitation. We're fortunate we have a very nice helicopter, lots more space than other people have, a lot more lifting capability for multiple crew members, bigger patients, stuff like that. So we've got most of what we need, except the definitive care of doctors and large diagnostic equipment. Obviously, we can't throw a CT scanner in there or anything like that, but we can still do a lot. So it's years of training, years of kind of wanting to work towards this, getting experience that would benefit this career, and put it all together.
So Josh, back to you on that. I mean, as somebody that has got a medical background that's a bit different than Matt, and you get in this thing compared to what people see, quote, a nurse is doing. What is that? I mean, what kind of feeling has somebody got to say, well, I want to try this. I'm tired of kind of being in the hospital. I want to apply. What would you tell them to think about their self before they decided to do this? What are some things you had to learn?
So I started in EMS as well as an EMT for a few years. I wasn't a paramedic, but I did EMS with Wake County. Then I became a nurse, and I worked for many years at the cardiac ICU at Duke, and then I applied here. The things that I would absolutely stress is you have to be an independent thinker. You have to look at a medical situation and say, hey, what is going on and what can I do to affect this? You can't just, I think sometimes it's in nursing, it's easy just to say, hey, doc, this is what's happening, and the doctor will give you orders. That's the normal.
There's no protocol change.
Right. Whereas in this, we have protocols that we've worked through with the doctor, so we operate very independently, and we have to think critically about what's going on and then say, hey, this is the decision I'm going to make, this is what I'm going to stick with, this is the action that I'm going to take, and then whatever the outcome, I'm going to respond to that next thing. It's a lot of responsibility, I think. That's a huge mindset shift coming out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? I now have this responsibility on me to make these decisions, to take ownership of these actions. But it's fun. I work with incredible people. The people that we work with are some of the smartest in their field, and it's honestly exciting to come to work, to work with Matt, to work with the other partners that I have, and say, hey, how can we work together to collaborate, to bring the things that we each independently know or that we know together to preserve this patient's life, prolong this patient's life, and to get them where they need to go.
Well, we know that you guys are on a tight schedule. I was hoping to get Will and up here and kind of have a further conversation, but we'll hold that to later.
Yeah,
it's just
sorry.
It's just literally one of those things you have to do. I want to thank you again for coming to this small community, and I'm hoping this will be an example for a lot of people that they can do this as well.
Yeah,
thank you for your service.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Let's get out of here.
Protect what matters most in your life with security from Star Communications.
For the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, you need whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Star's whole home Wi-Fi provides ultimate coverage, ultimate performance, and ultimate power all the time. Star's whole home Wi-Fi systems feature the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology and are equipped with unrivaled bandwidth and 4 times more simultaneous connections. So you can connect tons of devices throughout your home with no lag and no downtime. Plus, with 24/7 support and remote troubleshooting, you can rest assured that Star is always there to help you should any issues arise. Star's whole home Wi-Fi also comes with the Command IQ mobile app, putting you in control of your home network and making it easy to set up and connect devices, run network speed tests, pause Wi-Fi, and set parental controls all from the palm of your hand. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Contact STAR today to get started.
What was the response you got from the Eagle Scout folks when you presented this as a project? Was there an immediate approval? Was it something they had to think about, or what?
Well, actually, it was kind of funny because when we first presented it, the idea, she thought it was a heliport. That's why we've had to be really specific with calling it an emergency landing zone, because she thought it was a heliport, and those things cost millions of dollars. So she was thinking about that. She was like, there's no way you're doing a heliport, because that was way too much. But once we clarified it, she still had she made us go the extra mile with proving that we could handle it, because it's a big project for an Eagle Scout project. So, but once we had all of our information and everything, we were good to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Again, we're here on site at the Halls Fire Department. Looking at a helipad, a big deal here in the community in the Halls area. And we're looking, the folks you see to my left here is Lynn. Lynn, I want to compliment your son, Lynn Blackman, and I want to compliment Will for him being on the show with me. And Tanya, I want to tell you that this guy, he can make things happen in the world. He's a good kid, and we're proud of Eagle Scouts, and we're proud of what you've done, Will. I want to kind of get a comment, just a free-flowing comment from you guys. When you look at this and you see all this work that's been done, and you see all those names over there, people that donated to this project, to this Eagle Scout project, just give us your feeling now, knowing that this has come to fruition. It's going to be used. In fact, Lynn, I'm told it's already been used to save some lives. Give us your feeling on that.
I drive by it a couple times, at least a couple times each day, and I look over here pretty much every time. And obviously I'm proud of my son's accomplishments and everything he had to do with it, but also really proud of this community and how they came together, really supported in a much bigger way than we thought out of the gate. We knew the support would be there, but raised more or less double what our initial budget was. And so that's, to me, that's what, when I drive by, it's what I see is what a community can do when we come together.
Absolutely. Tanya, I know the mama's on top of everything. So kind of tell us for you how busy this was. How much was this? A lot of weight? Did the money come easily? Is there things that you would say, well, I don't necessarily want to do that over?
The fundraising was a easier part than what I expected it to be. I kind of expected it to be an uphill battle, and it really wasn't. We sent Will out with my dad a few days of reaching out to businesses. He sent out letters to family and friends, and it just kind of started trickling in. And then I realized, sooner than later that, okay, this is something we can actually do. When Will talked to Brian first and he mentioned the landing zone, I thought it was a great idea, but I didn't know if we could pull it off as a scout, as a family, as a community. But I was, like Lynn said, very happy with the support. For me personally, I was good friends with George Warren, who was injured and evacuated to a hospital by emergency landing zone there on his farm, and that made the difference between him making it. So that was kind of always in the back of my mind. This is something that could have helped someone like George. My mother died of a sudden heart attack. What if this had been here when she was in her time of need? Could it have changed things? So it was a very personal thing to me. But of course, we're proud of them, and we're just so proud of the community. They showed up in a way that we couldn't have expected.
Absolutely, and a lot of emotion into everything that goes on with emergency management, particularly with life-saving issues. Will, I want to segue to you very quickly and give you an opportunity here to just kind of speak to folks from your position as a Eagle Scout going into your junior year next year. And there may be some folks out there about your age that's going to see this and go, wow, you can do that with the Scouts? The Scouts is a big deal. Tell us how this makes you feel to see what your spark did in making all this happen.
Yeah, it's just a really special moment because obviously it was a big project and I didn't expect to have so much support from everybody. I mean, we've already had a bunch of people at this community dedication, have y'all out here asking us questions. And it's a big deal. And with the Scouts, with the Eagle Scout projects, you can pretty much do whatever you feel like your community needs. And that's what I did.
Wonderful. That basically covers what I wanted to do, but I wanted to kind of cover one last thing. Is there anything either one of you guys would do over that you did this time? Is there if I had that do, I would tweak it a little different way. I'll start with you, Tom.
These rocks were really heavy and they were a lot of work. So I don't know. We would have gotten more help or something on the days.
A bigger machine or something?
Yeah, something. And that was another thing, because of his age with Scouts, you can only use certain types of tools because you're not old enough to use power tools and things like that. So a lot of this was done by hand where we could have used some machines to make things easier. But these rocks, we did a lot of work. The boys that came to help put a lot of work. So I would have found something else to do maybe the days that they were putting out rocks.
What do you say, Lynn? What do you say? What is something that you would tweak a little bit there?
Yeah, it's the rocks were up there, but that was really because of I think if you were here, you saw how much wind was generated. We were limited in what we could do, and these bigger rocks were the only option really that would work. But it was a lot of hard work, and it was really not anything I would change. I would go all the way rest around. I would take the sod to the edge instead of where we stopped. But that's still, I'm a little OCD, I guess. I'm like, well,
you want it right.
It will spread. They say it will spread quickly, but I would have probably gone ahead and finished it out.
We like to go ahead and put the bow on it.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to segue to you. Just think in terms of that question, and some of your friends are watching or what have you. Is there things you would do different? If they're thinking about doing a Eagle Scout project, what would you say? What would you tweak this one different?
I don't know if I would tweak it. I feel like most of the changes that we made were for the better. Like whenever we received more funding, we were able to make the pad bigger, upgrade the lights. And I think we really fixed every problem we came into before it really became a problem. So I think probably wouldn't change anything with this project.
Last question. What would you say to all those folks that I see their names plastered on the wall over here as contributors? Lynn, you up first.
Just thank you. As I mentioned in the opening comments, it blew me away. And it's not that I was surprised that this community would support it, but it was above and beyond what my expectations were, and I'd just like to say thanks.
Tanya?
It was just humbling knowing how many, we live in a small community and we all love each other and come together in times of need, but it's still, like Lynn said, it was still more than what we could have expected.
Thank Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.